Hello, everybody. We are back with some more fancy artifact business. As the thumbnail and title probably suggested, we are now using the new and improved Ruy Scepter, dubbed the Dragon Ruy Scepter. It is insanely cool. If you have a TBB on your account and you are endgame-ish and have all of your Tree of Origin stuff more or less covered, this is a thing to pick up. Good Lord. Will this thing really be a game changer for your TBB? Not just in terms of her efficacy, because the control precision is buffed, and therefore she will be a bit stronger, but also, which is something I didn't even consider, is just the convenience factor. Because a lot of the time, you're waiting for your TBB to get hit early on into a fight when she has a mirror on. And a lot of the times that just won't happen. So you're just like replaying stages and your eyes roll to the back of your head because you're bored as hell, waiting for an enemy to hit your TBB so that she can react and then get her twines off. Well, on average, allegedly, as you can see here, half the time the thing will just give her energy. So it just removes the RNG factor of TBB getting hit, and it's just a world of convenience that is introduced into the game for you. And I am loving every second of it, or approximately every other second of it, because it doesn't work half the time, but half the time it works every time. Shout out Barry, I reused your line. But it's an extremely cool artifact that I was wanting not even just for TBV, but whenever they drop more Aspen dungeon stuff, you can see I got a little spoiler there, that this was the time we cleared. I actually chopped off about 15 minutes on the front end of this video, just trying this wave. This wave sucks ass. I mean, Cthulhu. This is with Nirvana. I was two divine power below this. Um, Before this event with the weird cyberness going on. And I couldn't do 713, which is double Cthulhu. I'm not even gonna bother like trying to say his name again. Um, he's just an absolutely brutal enemy to go against. At some stages, it feels like he's worse than Valks, which is weird to say, but that's how it be. Given me a lot of trouble, but I got Nirvana this event, and so now we were able to nuke through that, and now we are doing other stages. Um, Unfortunately, the Gustin locked onto LFA, so he dies, and then we just have to watch all of this. This is like the first time in history that I've seen the base Yorm Tum attack animations, just because he's so garbage, that nobody uses him, and he's so recent, that he's only now being introduced into PvE content. So at least now I get to know in the back of my head what the Yorm Tum attack animations are. So that's kind of cool. But basically, this footage is going to be smooth sailing because we don't really run into any stages that TVV can't handle until we reach, as you end gamers will know, or at least probably have heard of, 745, which is, to my knowledge, the first. No, it's the second. It's the second stage with Chaos Bound Spirit Gaggy. But this stage is infinitely worse because it also contains some other nightmarish heroes. There's an SQH in there, who of course is no fun. And then there's two Waldex, there's a PDE, and probably some other nightmarish hero as well, that we'll be able to see soon enough. But so If you've been keeping track with the account, I have the Deific melodic strings, the Deific antlers cane, a bit to my chagrin with that one, actually, and the Deific Ruy Scepter, the opposite of to my chagrin. To my utmost pleasure, I have been thrilled with the performance of this new Ruy Scepter. Antlers cane, don't take it beyond glittery, probably, unless you're an endgame PvPer. And even then, maybe there are other artifacts that you should be looking at. We don't need to discuss them because I don't know who's going to get mad at me for talking about like things that are being theory crafted. So I'll avoid talking too much about any one specific artifact, but I will instead just talk about a few that are interesting to me now. Because now that I have another deific one, I needed to set my sights on others. This stage actually being a bit more trouble than I would have expected. Double gusted, of course, is scary, but I just kind of thought this was something that LFA would have handled. The arm time active skill kind of looks cool. I should probably take the torch from DGN. LFA probably doesn't need damage reduction either. The ping's just gonna nuke him either way. But it is what it is. I can probably level that flag on the Geester now that I'm seeing make the Ilamok a tad bit ever so slightly stronger, but any little bit helps. There we go. TVB does her thing. One of the Gustins dies. And now I think this should be smooth sailing. Looks like. Mayhaps. I should probably do one-to-one testing with regular melodic and this new melodic. I'll do that at some point if I don't forget, which, I probably will, to be honest, but it is what it is. 731 down. This one's going to be simple because we have Betty gets her thing. Holmes Young takes a nice like 65% chunk of his health there. Another active skill coming right up. And it should end the wave. Oh, no, I lied. This next one will, though, for sure. There they go. Very nice. I wish they would just kind of make more content and then it would just allow for a more gradual difficulty ramp because I was stuck on the early 7-1s for much longer than my enjoyment allows for. So I was turning towards other accounts and other games to keep me occupied. But now we are able to make a little bit of progress. And now that I've reached Nirvana, I probably am not going to care much about getting Destiny materials. Since we've got the big important upgrades out of the way. I'm not super impressed by any other Nirvana skills as of now, anyway. PDEs is nice, but I'm a Star Expedition focused boy, so the Darkness Cloak probably isn't going to be the most impactful ability on the planet. Then again, it's a guaranteed dodge, which I'm not sure how that would interact with the Star Expedition boss, actually. I'm not sure what can be dodged of his kit and what wouldn't be. I don't know if the marks are placed passively or if they're placed whenever the actual skill hits us. Something to be scienced, perhaps. But regardless, cool things. Cool things are approaching. We'll show a little PvP clip of the Ruy Scepter in a little bit of time just so we can really drive home just how stupid that thing is. Man, I love it to death. And I'm looking forward to more Aspen Dungeon being released so that I can really test out just how fast you need to be for game modes like that. I suspect they'll be able to outspeed till maybe like 350 at this point, which is rather nice. The goal is obviously, because they like to be very fast and quick and speedy, um, to be able to outspeed 400 when that inevitably drops. But I'm not sure if that's in the cards anytime soon. In fact, I don't even know if my measly A tier can hold that much soul power that would be necessary for such egregious speed numbers to be attained. So I might have to look into upgrading to an A plus tier. Maybe not an S tier, because that's like more than double the price of an A plus, and I am not convinced that that is worth it as of now, anyway. And also, that's specifically for Aspen. The case is different if we're talking about supporters. You might be able to justify an S tier supporter a bit easier than you can justify an S tier damage dealer. And we'll leave it at that for now, because we don't need to talk about Star Expedition while we're doing a Ruy Scepter showcase. But, um, yeah. Oh, I should probably talk about artifacts, so you're not just bored to death by this Therapist of Blood Betty video, which all content is now. This is an interesting wave, for sure. I immediately swap into Antler's Cane. Because I anticipate that it will be a long fought battle. And it does turn out that it is, in fact, a long fought battle. But I appreciate that this is at least something new. I think this is the first 6 carry wave that we've seen. Which, good for them for getting creative with the stages. And I will be shaking my fist in the air with how creative they can get as soon as 745 comes around, because it is a unique stage, but it's uniquely horrendous. And there's the stage. Bam. This one looks scary on paper, but with TVB, there's only a certain amount of scary a stage can be until you introduce trans Gaggy. That's Adrian. He's my I shouldn't call him my rival for the server, because I would get completely slaughtered in any form of one-to-one combat with him. His account is wild. But yeah, yeah, not a ton else that we're gonna be able to do. Unfortunately, me content is cleared basically everywhere. Aspen Dungeon's done, Vortex is done, Tower's done. Seal Land is something I could try again. I like the idea of that. Little Sea Land video coming up soon, maybe. Maybe. Could at least be interesting, I reckon. Ugh, I'm exhausted. But if I'm being honest, I'll probably get blasted. If I clear the current one I'm on, which is 38, 39 is just gonna come for my head just immediately. I stand no chance against these later sea lands. They are designed to last. That is for sure. Those things are durable, and in fact, because Dark Sea Land has that counterattack dragon thing, not even a counterattack, like follow up attack. Regardless, the dragon that just destroys you. I don't even get to attack most of the time with Unbending Will or without. So that's unfortunate. This actually might be a loss. Nope, we're good. Okay, LFA died, but everybody else is nice and healthy. If I recall correctly, this one was a little bit of a struggle. Regular Gaggy, and in fact, maybe not even regular Gaggy, maybe it's just a symptom of the stage, but these guys were chunky, chunky lads. Yeah, I don't think this is a victory here, which is shocking. Yeah, I just get absolutely blasted. I don't even know what regular Gaggy does, but it's it's something scary. Something scary indeed. One Gaggy down, two Gaggies down, and I feel like this still isn't going to be a win. Yeah, and that's why the King Barton lived and just crushed my soul. There it goes. There goes my soul. DGN, ever resilient, unable to clutch it up. It feels bad. Feels bad. But what can you do? Nothing. That is what you can do. Precisely nothing. You can try again. And now I'm just spouting nonsense. Let's talk about artifacts, shall we? That sounds like a good idea. I'll pull up my second device. Actually, it's a bad idea because it might steal the microphone priority. And then my audio would just sound pretty terrible. We're gonna go for it anyway, just in case. And then I'll talk about all of the artifacts in sequence. King Barton, dude, always a problem. Never pleasant, but it is what it is. Okay, so artifacts. Let us discuss. So we got. I think demon bells look pretty bad. I don't really see a purpose of getting those. No, no desire on my end to getting these deific demon bells because we increase speed by 9 for enemies, for allies with full energy. And then it can heal them if it's splendid. It's just, yeah, it feels like DH knew that everybody has demon bells, and they're just like, who really needs them? And I agree with that assessment. God's power, God Eater, rather. It's probably just going to be inferior to melodic strings and antler's cane in most every situation. The divine retribution is kind of cool. Um, I don't know. I could see maybe God Eater being good on like Luna, but I don't know why that would be better on Luna. It's just an intuition I have. The God Eater hero, maybe. I don't know. Devil's Power. I know Barry enjoyed it a lot, but it just seems like I would much rather have Fan or Crown. That's just me, though. The Augustus Groan doesn't really. It just, again, seems like I would rather have Fan or Crown, which feels kind of bad, but it is what it is. Soul Seeker's Touch, which is the Kiss of Ghost, nobody should ever get, ever, I don't think. Because it's just doing what you're already doing. You're healing a ton, which you have a ton of healing as it is, and then it gives dodge offset, but yeah, I don't really see it being something to prioritize. The Lucky Candy Bar is kind of nice. It gives the extra chance for purification, which we all like purifying stuff, so that's cool. Um, yeah, I like the candy bar. I don't think I'll get one for a while, but you know, there we go. Huge Aspen nuke there. Making it happen. The flickering torch is something that interested me for a while, because it gives an extra 10% dot reduction, which I didn't even know that was possible. I thought like all the specific reductions in a damage capped at like 75 or something like that. So the fact that this goes to 80% is really cool. That could be particularly helpful for Valkyries and Cthulhas, who are gross and yucky. But as I mentioned, they aren't really the problem for me right now. So I'll probably be skipping over that for a while. It also reduces crit damage and restores self HP by 33% of lost HP. I guess when taking damage from active skills or basic attacks, which is really cool. That's a really cool effect. Torch is in my book. The pure gold crown is just crown, but more crown, which is it's friggin' awesome. That is something to pick up for sure at some point. I like that a lot. Increases damage reduction and all damage reduction, and then resets the skill at the beginning of round 6. So that's a badass artifact right there for sure. Dragon Ruy we've already discussed. It's insane if you have a Betty, and especially if you have an Aspen as well, and you care about outspeeding Aspen Dungeon if you're a super whale like me. Yeah, that is something to pick up at some point for sure. The Snowheart now reduces speed and energy, which is incredibly cool. That is super, super cool. Reduces the target speed by 60, energy by 20, and attack by 20%. So that is, man, that thing's it's a cool Snowheart. Probably not going to take priority over other things, though. It might be good in PvP. Melodic strings, decent. If you need more nuke, then cool. I'm not sure how many people need more short-term nuke, but I'm sure some people do. My strategy now actually might be just hoard these new artifact chests until new artifacts drop, and then at that point I'll be able to just, from the rip, be able to just upgrade these things and see what they can do. That might be a good strategy. Next is the fan. The fan looks really awesome. More crit damage reduction. More all damage dealt? Question mark. Maybe. I'll look. More all damage dealt, yes. More HP, more, and it gives attack now, which is awesome. And now, except the difference is it increases 20 energy for self when you have a max shield. Nope, just a regular shield. If you have a shield and you take a hit, you gain 20 energy and then restore self equal to 8% of lost HP. That is a cracked, cracked defensive artifact. And that is something that I want for myself in spades. I want loads of those things on my account right now. We'll see if I end up getting them, but the mirror is nice. I mentioned this in the Antlers, Cane, and Melodic Strings video, which was the previous video I uploaded, but it has the same symptom as the regular mirror, which is having one of them probably isn't going to do a whole heck of a lot for you. If you get into the 3 or 4 of them territory, that's when it might start to have a pretty noticeable effect on a fight. So be warned, getting one probably not going to be super helpful, so know what you're getting into before you start building those. Will I be getting 16 blue chests to pursue to upgrade all 4 of my mirrors to this new spiritual mirror? I mean, at some point, probably. But will I prioritize it? Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. And then I think the Fortune Jade Toad, which is the new cat. I don't know why it's a toad now. It's a cat. Normally, but now it's a toad, which is bizarre. But the new effect that it got just seems kind of crap. I'll be honest. It seems not good at all. It gives one of the following effects: speed by 3 for 2 rounds, attack by 3 for 2 rounds, and HP equal to restores HP equal to 3% max HP, or increases 10 energy. And if the attack and the speed didn't have like round limits of the 2 rounds, it might be decent, but man, these things, it's really underwhelming in my opinion. So the cat kind of got shafted by the new artifact versions, which is interesting and sad for any auspicious cat fans, but who cares, right? There are other things to get, other things to make us all happy. I will probably just be accumulating my blue chests passively. Yeah, I don't really see a purpose in speedrunning any of the other ones that I don't currently have. I have the 2 offensives that I want. I have the Ruy Scepter, and I think I am perfectly fine with my current state of mirrors and fans. So we'll probably just chillax on the fancy deific artifacts for the time being, and then we will revisit them should a need arise. And as we finish off the topic, we are able to clear the stage. So how's that for timing? I didn't plan it, which you probably believe because you know I don't plan anything. Because otherwise I would produce actual good content instead of this this garbage that you're somehow still watching. But I appreciate you sticking by. If you're like walking or something, you're not even watching, that's cool. I think 85% of the YouTube that I watch, in quotes, is me just with the video in my pocket, just listening while I ambulate places. Yeah. But so this will be a pretty friggin' simple stage. It's funny. This is a pretty brutal one for Chapter 1 LFAs before TVV is around. But and then here's the nightmare that we're on right now. So we immediately switch back to our melodic strings, and yeah, you'll see Gaggy is just kind of unfun in every sense of the word. Oh yeah, the last hero was TVV. I mentioned two Waldex, the PvE Queen, and yeah, it's TVB as our last supporter of Gaggy here. And of course, Gaggy's counterattacks go through the twine, much like Home's follow-up attacks do. Which, should they? No. But are they a way that we can sort of nerf, in quotes, TVB? Yes. So I'll tolerate it. But man, they should have just not allowed that to happen because it feels like you're introducing jank into the game and you're just not fixing it. Because like it's just bizarre that we can get counterattacks while you are CC'd with a control effect that by description says it prevents counterattacks, but I guess yeah, like I don't know. And the weird thing is, it like other passives that give counterattacks are blocked. Like I'm pretty sure Eloise's and Horace's counterattacks. I'm pretty sure those are both passives. So I'm not sure why this one's able to slip through, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at the account now because we're not going to be able to beat this. So we'll walk right in. Bam. Um, yeah, I made a little mistake here. I pulled one too many Lunacores from that, so we'll see if um, his support will help me in fixing that. I hope so, but maybe not. We'll see. And now, just so we can get a little idea of how effective this thing is in PvP, this is a guy called Sven. I've never interacted with him except for in the Void Horde, and he is the bane of my existence because he has less divine power, but what he does have is an absolutely brutal TBB. And then we'll be able to see the strength of his divine power so you can get a handle on it. And I haven't been able to outspeed this thing either, even with the snow heart. This thing is speedy. Um, so that TBB nuked me to hell with a divine power gap of 4 in my favor. So he's at a huge disadvantage here and still just wrecking my face, which is kind of scary. And then it's going to happen again here. I introduced TBB with the Dragon Ruyi. The Dragon Ruyi didn't proc that time, and so he's just free to absolutely just wreck me again, which makes me a little bit sad and a little bit tilted, given that it's embarrassing losing when you have this much divine power in your favor. And then eventually, TBB gets her Dragon Ruyi effect, drains all the energy from his TBB, and now the energy race, as it were, is in my favor and not his. And so now this will allow me to have a victory against this Sven gentleman anytime I encounter him in the Horde. So unfortunately for him, um, he, he now has another person who can dodge his TBB, which I'll be honest, it's kind of unfortunate actually because I can tell how much he invested in his TBB, like the S tier, and I don't even an ungodly amount of, of soul power to be able to outspeed me still. Um, and just for me to just pop on a Deific Ruy Scepter with my Tree 1 TBB and just wreck the thing he's got going on. It's nice for me, obviously. I'm happy I'm able to win, and I wouldn't like change the game so that this didn't work. But I do kind of feel bad because he has something really cool going on. And well, by way of more TVB foolery, we're able to just sort of wreck it, which I don't know. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but it feels bad. This is my Aspen now. With SE set up, he can breach 60 million just barely. We're getting almost capped off here with soul power. You'll see he can fit 3556. He has 3237. So a bit more, and we will need to probably get a bigger home for this guy, which means maybe sell this and get an A plus. I'm not sure what the capacity of an A plus is for soul power either. Or maybe I just start putting soul power into his tenants. At the same time, though, that's like, man, that is a lot. That is a lot to have max soul power on tenants, especially when it doesn't give LFA, the main unit here, speed. So I don't know. Maybe A plus is the way to go. Maybe not. There aren't that many A pluses on the market right now. And the ones that do exist, I would have to re-roll, and it's just like blah. Like, who cares about control immunity? Who cares about block? Control immunity again. Like, I don't know what's with all these giant killer defier and then garbage third rolls, but man, I'm getting tired of looking at them a little bit. This guy, Giant Killer Defier Precision, is a really nice copy, especially with the S tier attack, but bro knows what he has and is charging much more than what everybody else is asking. Luckily for me, none of these are selling because nobody wants to buy these. Uh, Everybody knows A pluses are a scam most of the time, unless you are getting soul power to cap them off. But yeah, the S tier situation doesn't look much better in terms of Aspens. Nice roll, but I'd like to fire on there. And then also 160K, way too much. I know it's the only one on the market, but yeah, dude's a little bit optimistic on that, probably. Um, Great. So I filtered for S tiers, and then I get not S tiers. Thanks. Um, on display, we have two S tiers here. I would love this Freya, but man, 100K, not for me. No, thank you. And then the A tier market, the A plus market. I'm surprised there's one of these already. Like, I don't know what sort of freaks are awakening her this early on, but let's see. Let's take a look here. So we have the A plus, and then let's just see if there's anything cool going on. And this is just the stuff that's on display. So we have, oh, that is an enticing copy. I need to get out of the auction house before I do stupid things. Let's see if Alakita is here in any sort of. Let's filter by attack. Bam, no A plus, no A tiers. It seems currently on bidding, but there is one on display, which is really cool to see. Um, I'm not sure how she's gonna be, to be honest. Like, she's just, I don't know. It's difficult. But anyway, that will be all. I appreciate you stopping by to watch. Have yourselves a good day. Lastly, last bit of food for thought. Here's my train. It's getting big, 10 million finally. I don't know if these Void Campaign Treasure series are applying the Void Horde, but I hope they are, because that would be cool for me. Uh, I think third homeowner is going to be a Cosmic Enforcer Luna, probably just for PvP. I am coming to that realization that she might not be particularly helpful um, in like Star Expedition or anything like that. But I don't know. She's a nice tenant for HHA, so have yourselves a good day. Hope you enjoyed.